this glue ruby matchup.
17 minutes later, and we're going to a game number 3.
Bring it up very early with the copium, huh?
He called it 17 minutes. I wonder how true. Oh my.
Find out. We're walking into game number 2 here. TNC up by 1. And Free Martisi, pretty good lineup for these guys. Chovskirt this time around on the Sicilian could be a difference maker as well as the Tigre.
Okay.
Yep.
So the thing is, let's say, in typical Apbren fashion, they don't get the early game, mid-game that they want. They have a Sicilian Granger to play around the late game. So they're covered. As long as it doesn't get to an incredible amount of huge lead for TNC Pro Team, Apbren has their damage and scaling covered in all aspects of the game.
True. And very good range as well, right?
Yeah.
I like how he was looking at me the entire time.
Well, I'm supposed to make eye contact with my colleagues. So.
Yes, that's true. Oh no! Oh! Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I guess what you're talking about, right? And that was beautifully executed there by Apbren. Yawi didn't really know where it was coming from, and they collapsed on him from all sides.
And this time it isn't a Flicker Kalea, by the way. It's a Purify Kalea who's using Focusing Mark so that they have a stronger pick-off.
Oh, but Koi goes in though. Will he try to take on James Pamps? He just dodges all the remaining damage.
Good understanding by Coil that he would actually be able to survive that while dealing a lot of damage onto James Banks. I thought he was done for, but Coil said, nah, I don't think they'll be able to take me down just yet.
Not quite yet. Full combo is not available yet. Turtle is out. Feels like they have a good box out of that Turtle, but don't forget, very close by is Apbren.
Yeah. Yaoi's yet to get his level 4, so they're just kind of holding the Turtle right now. But there though, I can already imagine there's a potential flicker. I'm offended from this guy.
Man, Coil is very far away. What's the plan here?
They're gonna give it.
They're giving it away.
Okay, now he goes in. Tyler's
he's here.
Oh, he still goes in, and the Tsunami Slam's also used up. James Banks successfully secures the Turtle, but Koi will go in. Gets denied the electrifying beats with that impressive implosion. But still, TNC gets the better of Apbren.
All right.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good maneuver here.
Oh! Yikes!
Wow!
Insult to injury.
If you would time travel a bit, James Banks wasn't able to finish off the kill onto Yaoi earlier on the throw, but now that felt like, I got my revenge.
Yaoi might have played around a little bit more there, but look at that there. He's on top.
Okay, split end, electrifying beats. Casted onto Jer, making sure he doesn't survive that even though he's already under the turret. And there's a potential trade that Apbren wants to go for here in the bottom lane. Betty Cutie already using his Purify, stuns multiple members, but still doesn't escape the bullets from Shizo.
All right, very close right now in terms of the kills. So, very execution based. I see how TNC Pro Team will balance things out. They go for a 2-man rotation up top with Coil and 3 Martisi. Cutting waves, and Coil will be pushing back there. So this is a smart rotation by TNC and how 3mar was able to manage the lane so that there would get pushed back and Coil would be able to freely get the tower.
Whoa.
What a rotation by TNC.
This is a different way of attacking it. Basically, he's getting as many resources as possible into the Joy, shortest amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, the Joy really can rotate really fast, but to think that he was the one working on the turrets, even taking out majority of the energy shields already, so TNC, at least though for Apbren, aren't that much ahead just yet, if it were to be, or if we're talking about gold.
Yeah. Again, this Sicilian Granger that Apbren is up against, so TNC Pro Team needs to revel in this. Take the lead as much as they can, dominate as much as they can as at this point in the game before they hit the inevitable point of Apbren being able to match them in damage and stopping their sieges.
Yeah, don't get to a point where you're going to get 2-shot by a bat's impact, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see that probably later on, though. TNC.
Whoa, Purify from Yaoi. He gets to walk away. 3 Martisi looking for a target. He goes in, forces out the flicker from Chovskirt, and Apbren now will disengage. He really waited for that timing.
I think they were trying to bait out some more here. Yeah, for the meantime, it is going to be Apbren trying to just make sure that they have at least map control, even if they don't get kills. Yeah, he's flying around. I love the
Flying around.
animation. Literally flying around.
Able to get away. And aggressive.
Oh, that's an aggressive implosion coming in from Kekedot. Now they burst down Yawi without the Purify, but there's the diversion coming in from Lancey. He tries to chase for the other members, but Apbren are just walking away. They do not want any trade.
While all that's happening, Coil's on top side too.
Yeah, just working on the map, getting a lot of farm and applying a pressure up top, while Apbren decided to go for a 5-man rotation to just try to win through picks and damage.
Coil goes in! And both of them fall!
That's a gritty. There's something there in that fight.
Yeah.
I can sense something. You know, you can touch it.
That's tension in there. Very gritty that we saw from Coil and James Bounce. I bet Coil in his head is thinking like, but you had your tower. I was still able to kill you. It was 2v1, bro.
2v1, bro.
You had your tower.
Classic story. And now for the meantime, it is going to be Shizu on the bottom. We haven't really seen Benny Cutie in action quite yet.
Yeah.
So that's something also kind of brewing here for TNC. But look at that, Kekedot!
They commit for 3 more. TC who still had the flicker. And he just got away like that.
Okay, the ultimate of the Tigreal will be coming back before the flicker of the glue. So that's a resource burned by Apbren. They didn't get the kill, but that's still a good call for them to make. Now the 2 roamers, very neck and neck on the items, although Yawi already rushing the Dreadnought armor.
All right, looking at it right now, TNC does feel like they still have massive control. Kekedot and Apbren looking for an opening. Look at that!
Multiple members of Apbren get knocked up, and without the implosion, they weren't able to set up things for themselves prior to that objective.
Yeah, Apbren were trying to open up the map a bit more. They sent James Spanks up top, but he's not going to be able to get a push in with the tower, while TNC Pro Team will break another here at the bottom.
Oh, 2-man knockup once again. Coming in from Yawi, but they just walk away after successfully securing the tier 1 turret down bot. 3 Martizi right now on this 2-0-1. I feel like he's a much bigger problem, more than a normal glue would be.
Yeah,
It's true.
I still think,
Which is why a lot of attention is being used or poured onto him. He almost survives that, but at least Apbren had the necessary damage already to take him out. But Coil, will he still go in? Doesn't risk it anymore. But that's some sort of shutdown from Apbren onto 3 Martizi. Oh, Tsunami Slam used onto Kekedot. They're not done just yet. They burst him down. He tries to walk away, but there's one more ball coming in from Benecutie and Coil on the other side, taking down Shizu.
Look at that, the outmaneuver out of Coil here. Beautifully taking out Shizu, not even allowing Shizu to join that fight.
great targeting by Coil, and very welcome addition to the squad. He slotted him in perfectly with the rest of them. Zyda has been impressive, but wow, Coil, good for you, young man.
Yeah, Zyda, I think he was really impressive, especially when it came to the Retribution battles. But overall, TNC now and their dominance in just engaging every now and then in the team fights, led by Coil. It's massive for them. Yawi though goes in. Tsunami Slam uses it onto Dirt, and there's 3 Martizi with an additional layer. Stun! Coil again! Finding the targets from the back lines, and Kekedot will not survive this too. Coil with a sliver of HP will get out alive, and that's 4 members taken out of Apbren.
I am seeing a pattern here. If you guys don't know, the whole fight, no one really cared about Benecutie. I am seeing a pattern here for TNC Pro Team, and I gotta say, it's good. It looks good.
Oh, TNC Pro Team did not respect the backline dive right away coming out from the Joy. Let's go back to the instant replay. 3 Martizi was already spotted out there. Okay, so they decided to focus there. But Coil just dived to the back as Kekedot was looking to set for the front. No one was there to protect the backline.
Yeah, that was a sideways flicker from 3 Martizi just to make sure he hits a lot more targets. Apbren, they need to be a lot more careful of where they pick their fights.
Giga Chad moments here for TNC. They're basically utilizing the time when I think Apbren threw out a lot to try to kill 3 Martizi earlier on. and all their flickers are on cooldown, and then, you know what, TNC said it's an opening. Why not, right? So far they're doing good, and Apbren right now are on recovery mode. They're trying to survive right now.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
Yeah. And you mentioned no one gets to pay attention to Benny Cutie just yet. Not, or probably aside from that first gank we saw from Apbren.
Yeah.
Benny Cutie so far has just been freely roaming around the map.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of makes you wonder.
3 more.
Old times, just like old times.
Look at him, he's been doing this since game number 1, honestly.
Welcome back, 3 more. We've missed you, bro.
We missed you.
It's gonna take some long time until we start feeling the damage of the Sicilian here,
Yeah.
who is neck and neck in terms of. Oh, he went for the Clock of Destiny second item. Yeah, it's really gonna take some
It's
time.
gonna take a long time.
So it was Gem into Glowing Wand into Clock, which means at this point, Choveskirt needs to make a decision whether he's still gonna go for the Holy Crystal or rust the Divine Glaive. Because there's an Athena Shields for Yaoi and 3mar, and the Divine Glaive should help with that, meaning that's even more damage coming out of him, plus the shields generated by the Low Yi. And even the Joy as well.
Okay.
There's a Malefic gun for Benny Cutie already picked up too.
It's gonna make it a lot harder to reach that Bruno.
Yeah.
I mean, good thing that Shijo was able to keep himself very close in the farm. It's not a clear lead for Benny Cutie in terms of the items, and Shijo has kept himself close.
And it can always all just boil down to one good implosion, right? If you're fighting against a Tigreal, that's just a given.
Yeah, only that you have to worry about 3 purifies.
3 purifies, I know, right? It's just woo-hoo-hoo-wee.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the work cut out for them, 100% for Apbren. And so far, it does feel like it's gonna take a lot of errors for them to actually just equalize. But look at that, waiting for that next Lord. Good discipline coming in from TNC as well, not really pushing their advantage so far.
Okay.
Purple bow for the Sicilian, but yeah, they're gonna have to turtle it out. They cannot fully dive into this unless are they gonna try? No, they can't.
Pretty far away, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be too dangerous. At least for this upcoming defense, they have their battle spells with them, so they can go for a counter engage if they wanted to. It'll be safer to fight under their turrets for now.
Yeah, they're gonna have to wait for Lord if you're TNC, right? So all's good in the hood. Let's take this moment to just breathe in, relax, because here we go. Could be a big one, especially since TNC looks like they want to really equalize the top lane minion wave. That means they really want to go end it right here, right now.
Yeah, it's an 8k gold lead for TNC. So that's a lot to consider for Apbren.
I mean, it's not insurmountable, right? We've seen this kind of gold lead overturned before.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yaoi.
Oh!
Make a bit of a play there. They're trying.
Yeah,
see?
it's fully built already for this Joy, so if the Joy can reach the Granger, that's gonna be game over.
Yeah.
Watch out, watch out.
So far, at least they're just able to focus on taking down the Lord, but Yaoi seems to be looking for something or
Jumps
someone. Doesn't fully commit it though,
Ouch.
forces out the I'm offended from there.
All right.
But that's a successful defense for Apbren.
Kind of to be expected, especially with Sicilian in the lineup, right? So far so good for Apbren. They know what they need to do in this situation. They have been there before. We've seen them time and time again struggle with the late game, with the early game, and then try to come back in the late game.
Yeah. Again, it's Sicilian and Granger together, one of the best in terms of holding on as long as you can. 14 minutes in and still not at 200 stacks.
87?
It's Choveskirt. Yeah, it's a little bit of slow on the stack farm there for the Sicilian. It's still on the way to the third item. Once the third item comes in, the turnaround is a little bit more within reach for Sicilian. Once the fourth item comes in, that's how you know this game has gone on too long and Apbren has a good chance of actually winning it.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a little scary, and they can't really blame, you know, him. Choke skirt. He can't really go out of that. Yowie.
Oh, James Banks dodges all that, but the Tsunami Slam will be used onto Kekedot, who still has the implosion, by the way, but he decides not to commit it just yet. There goes Kekedot, though, just before he's able to cast the implosion, and they traded out Yowie. So far, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but 3 Martizi using the split will be popping his immortality and won't survive all the damage coming in from Apbren.
All right, we're talking about errors, right? Errors being committed by TNC. I think we saw one. It's very minor. It was still a bit of a trade, but Apbren got out on top with that one.
Okay, double kill for James Banks, and getting a little bit closer and closer for comebackable territory for the Sicilian, who just built up the Divine Glaive. One more core item. The last time we did this, and I was starting to name down item conditions for a late game Sicilian. Once the 4th item got locked in, it went to a game number 3, folks.
That's right. And for TNC, you have to hunt down Sicilian, right? There's just no other way around it.
Yeah. There's a huge responsibility right now.
Trying to make
for
play.
Yowie and for Martizi, but and Coil secures the Lord. Now with a pick up onto James Banks too, they're still gonna go for it. The dispersion doesn't connect, but there goes Yowie. He gets punished though by Apbren, so they're also down by 1.
What a play, Coil! Again, impressive in his Season 15 debut. 7 kills, 1 death, 2 assists, and a very key Lord steal.
That's how you make an entrance, right? That is the best way to make an entrance so far. Game's not over yet. And don't forget, we still have Cecilia that's clearing all these waves, but you know what? TNC, they're doing everything that needs to be done.
Yep. There's still a Lord too, marching down bottom. Yowie could make it and catch up to the fight. But what does TNC plan to do with that?
Let's see. Getting started on those turrets though.
Good zone.
All right. 3 Martizi commits the split zones and buys enough time for TNC to take down that turret, and Coil once more gets to spot James Banks. He gets to, or the immortality is popped as well for him, but look at Benny Cutie also looking for the targets. Kekedot, he will still survive. He has the Athena shield, and they will now shift their attention to taking down the Lord.
Slowly but surely, man.
Yeah, slowly but surely. They bought a lot of time. Apbren, though, will be able to clear out the Lord and the minion waves. This game is not yet over. Apbren holding on for dear life. 3 more and Coil down. An impressive kill onto James Banks, but he gets instantly punished with an implosion from Kekedot. It was a jungler for jungle trade, but it became a jungle for EXP trade.
TNC looked like they were able to make a way around this Cecilia, at least for now, right? They were able to play around it, get those turrets, that's a start. But then again, Apbren are not far away in terms of items.
Yeah, they're not. They're now catching up. This was what Renmar mentioned. The 4th item being locked in for the Sicilian, for Chop Skirt. And the way that even despite TNC always going for it, and even Coil always looking for James Banks, they might need to be a little more careful from this point onwards. There could be faster responses, there could be much more damage coming from Apbren compared to the first few times where they just kept going in without any hesitations.
Shizu starting to build up those Sky Piercer stacks as well. Of course.
20.
He's catching up as well. There you go.
277, 276 now, climbing, getting closer to 300.
Stacking heroes.
Oh, hell yeah. Apbren. How they're going to play this next sequence, though, it's going to be the biggest question. Because TNC Pro Team, if they win this, then it might be an even tough defense for Apbren, and they're rushing it. It's the right call. They won't be able to get to the Lord in time. They won't be able to get there in time for a punish as well. So they're just going to have to hold out and see if somehow, some way they can defend this push. But this is going to be a very expensive one. And if Apbren walk out of this, with them being able to march out of base, having cleared out minion waves, being able to take down turrets, this game could go on for another 6 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is going to be so tricky, right? It's going to be so tricky to do this.
And Kekedot has the... okay.
What?
He has the purple buff.
Purple buff.
All right. This is the Evolved Lord that they have to take care of.
Here.
It's a magical Tigreal.
Three waves crashing into the base. Apbren around the defense.
All right, there's
Here
a
they
flicker. Oh, there's a dispersion as well, sending Coil to the back lines!
Wow!
Taking down Shizo and making sure there's no one left to defend
That's
for
it!
Apbren. They take down Kekedon as well, and James Pax trying desperately to